My wife Sarah and I, we actually started with March of Dimes in 2012. Our journey with March of Dimes really started in 2011 though.
We were 23 weeks along, had just found out that we were having a baby girl.
So she affectionately became Baby G to us. 3 weeks later, however, we had a turn for the worst where my wife went into labor and started having contractions.
So we ended up calling the doctor, and they said to just kind of like wait a few days. It was probably like a fever, dehydration. The contractions got worse. We found ourselves rushing to the
hospital, only to find out that she had already passed away in utero and was born stillborn. So we ran a bunch of tests. We worked with the doctors to try to figure out what happened. Unfortunately, we never got resolution to what happened.
So we lost Baby G, and a lot of conversations happened around that time when we lost her about, are we still gonna try to have kids? Are we gonna wait a little bit and grieve? And Steve was great. He was like, I still wanna have a baby. Let's keep moving forward, because that's what we do best.
About 3 months later, we were lucky enough to actually get pregnant again. So very quickly we had an ultrasound of our next pregnancy, which we found out we were having twin boys.
I'm a little restless. All I wanna do.
And I immediately thought of Baby G because, she's up there probably being a stinker, like, oh, you guys can have twins now, it's fine. When I'm considered high risk still, and my doctor at the time said, we're not quite sure why you lost Baby G, but we're going to schedule a cervical length at week 16.
So we came back a week later to go through the ultrasound and actually go run that test. And within 24 hours, we got a lot of answers, but we knew we were on a tough road from there on out.
I was dilated to the size of a quarter, or a nickel, I believe, and I had no idea.
So that night, she actually had surgery to do what they call a heroic cerclage.
So I have 2 babies inside me. I'm dilating to the size of a nickel, which is very dangerous.
But what it meant is that she was going to be on bed rest for the rest of the pregnancy. We went all the way to week 24, and week 24 is when there's a 50% survival rate for premature babies. So at week 24, she was actually admitted to the hospital, which was our first major milestone that we were very excited to get to. But she would then spend the rest of the pregnancy in the hospital.
27 and 1, I'm contracting. So my doctor comes in and she says, we're gonna have these babies today.
Within, I think 45 minutes, I got there. We were in the room ready to do a C-section.
So the boys are born, they're so teeny, and then they're in the NICU.
So for the next 12 weeks, we were in the NICU.
Finally, May 21, we get the go-ahead that they can come home. And we bring them home.
And I'll never forget that day, because that is a day that you look around this entire support network that you had and realize that you're taking them home and it's up to you from now, right? The continued support at GE was absolutely amazing. It was very clear the expectation was take care of your family first. So right away, we wanted to make sure that we continued to give back. As the kids continued to develop, and they were healthy, we continued to put them in studies to understand the development of preemies. We obviously got involved in the March of Dimes. When the children were born, they were given surfactant. March of Dimes provided a lot of the grants that went into the research for things like surfactant and surfactant therapy. When you're in the thick of it, it seems like there's going to be no end. But if you step back from that and see where we've come now, it really is a moment in time that one day will be very small in the bigger picture. Steve Slusher. I have 3 kids for GE. I work in GE Additive.
My name is Sarah Slusher, and I have 3 kids.
2 boys and 1 girl.